This is Smokin' Jamgrass. I'm Brian.
I'm Jolie, and we'd like to share with you the music we love, progressive bluegrass, and its roots, with new episodes airing the first Sunday of each month from 2 to 3 p.m., right here on KMUZ.
You and I headed straight into the west.
Hello, and welcome to a golden episode of Smokin' Jamgrass.
Woohoo!
We are interviewing two members of Molly Tuttle's super band, Golden Highway.
The quartet is made up of Shelby Means on stand-up bass, Dominick Leslie on mandolin, Kyle Tuttle on banjo, and Bronwyn Keith-Hynes on fiddle. And boy, they are all superb.
We caught up with Kyle Tuttle and Bronwyn Keith-Hynes to talk about their touring, where their roots in bluegrass sprouted, as well as each of their independent projects.
Yeah.
They both have new albums coming out in the spring, and they both have singles out right now from those albums.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to play them both here coming up. Well, first on the docket, we have Kyle Tuttle.
Woo!
He is such a talent, and it's amazing. He didn't actually start out playing the banjo until a family member left a banjo in the attic for him to later find. But we'll let him tell that story here coming up next.
Yay.
Kyle Tuttle's single, which is out right now, is his version of Cuckoo's Nest.
The old John Hartford classic.
That's right. And on his YouTube video of the song, Kyle captions it, Cuckoo's Nest is a traditional fiddle tune. Lyrics were written by John Hartford, and he was inspired by the way Jeff Austin performed it. So here is his version.
Yeah, Kyle.
Stay tuned for the interview with Kyle coming up next. Smokin' Jamgrass is going golden this hour with Bronwyn Keith-Hynes and Kyle Tuttle on Community Radio, KMUZ.
In a field of blue, a pointed toe Tchaikovsky played, a bend you down so lowly. It's your raven hair, it makes me mad. It's your insane eyes that make me sad. It's the California dreaming and the Mississippi smile that makes me come on slowly. I'm trying to be real cool and soft, so I don't take a chance of turning you off, and not to get to know you just because of love that makes me come on slowly. And in that I wouldn't want to make it all come true, baby, if I had a chance to get along with you. Watching how you operate when the chips are down, that makes me come on slowly. Eyes that make me sad. It's the California reeling and the Mississippi smile that makes me come on slowly. I'm trying to be real cool and soft, so I won't take a chance of turning you off, and not to get to know you just because of love. It makes me come on, come on, come on. And that I wouldn't want to make it all come true, baby, if I had to just be alone with you. Watching how you operate when the chips are down, that makes me come on slowly.
Smoking Jamgrass on KMUZ. You're listening to the golden episode, Area 51. Episode 51 already. We're so elated to be doing this. We just listened to Kyle Tuttle's latest release of Cuckoo's Nest, which will be released on an upcoming album this spring.
We caught up with Kyle in the back of the Aladdin Theater in Portland, where he and the rest of Golden Highway and Molly Tuttle played a sold-out show there. And the first thing he noticed was Brian's MLB jacket.
It's the Atlanta Braves, man. That's my team. I remember when they hit the. I mean, I don't really follow them, but like I'm from Georgia, so I remember when they won.
You just answered the first question.
90. Gosh, the thing was it 95?
Yeah.
So tell us, like, we were trying to figure out, your background and where you're from. So
born and raised.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm from Georgia. I grew up in North Georgia. Go Braves! And I grew up there. I was there really till I graduated high school, and I started playing guitar there. When I was a little kid. And my grandparents gave me a banjo. They had a banjo in the attic, So they gave it to me for my 17th birthday. So that was like the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
If you will,
What made you think banjo, after the guitar?
Well, I had got into bluegrass. I was like a metalhead, I was in punk rock bands and stuff in 9th and 10th grade. And then I had a buddy who was getting into bluegrass music, sort of by way of the Grateful Dead and Old and in the Way and stuff like that, And being in North Georgia, I mean, it's around. It was all around anyway, So then, as people started being like, oh no, this is actually pretty cool, So then I started digging into it. I was like, no, I guess this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then my grandparents just out of the blue, I'd never known they had that banjo, and then they were just like, oh, here, take this, happy birthday. And I was like. And this little book, they had this little book, the Teach Yourself to Play Banjo book,
right,
or whatever. And as soon as I did the first thing in it, I was just like, woo!
Yeah,
this is it.
You're 17.
I was 17. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So you self-taught? You have a cool teacher? You went to Berkeley, right?
Yeah, I did the self-taught thing until I went to Berkeley, which I was 23.
Wow.
Then. So, and I was on the road. I was on the road playing. In some old time bands and doing a bunch of different things, and playing guitar and mandolin and the banjo also. But then the banjo thing was just that became that's all I wanted to do.
Your passion,
Yeah.
Your muse.
What banjo players were you into or getting into?
Oh well, Bela Fleck probably was the first one to get me super fired up. I mean, there's Earl Scruggs, of course, is the one,
Yeah.
And but for me, Bela was kind of the one that got me first, I think.
Yeah. So intricate, so different, different style. But yeah, Jerry, Old in the Way,
right?
So,
totally.
Yeah. But well, cool, man. It's so good to see you. I had jotted down notes.
Yeah, totally.
I don't even know where to start. The big thing was I couldn't find where you were born, man.
Were your folks did they play music too? Or
No.
Just you?
No.
You have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister, but she doesn't play music either.
So you're the only musician in your family?
Yeah, my uncle, my great uncle, my grandpa's brother, my great uncle. Yeah. He played guitar and he played some fiddle, but we weren't he wasn't even around when I was a kid, So
yeah. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, pretty far away from him physically, distance wise, So I wasn't
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really know why the music thing bit me, but it just did.
It did.
And then what got you going to Berkeley? How did that happen? Transpire?
That was I was looking at the scene. I was looking at all of the stuff that was happening in the greater acoustic music scene at that time in 2009. 2008, 2009. I started at the fall of 2009. And there was a lot of cool stuff happening in Boston then, and I figured how do I get involved? How can I be a part of it, and I wanted to study music, and jazz. I studied mostly jazz and composition and stuff like that, at Berkeley. So that was, it's sort of just all culminated in seeming like that was the place that I should be at that time.
Yeah, with a lot of great contemporaries now. I mean, so many youngsters running around just tearing up the scene.
Yeah, man. Well, and everybody in Golden Highway was in Boston at that time.
Wow. Okay.
Also,
is that where you met him?
That's where I met all these people for the very first time. Yeah, and this has been in like 2009.
Cool.
Wow. And they all over the period between 2009 and 10-11 when I lived in Boston. Yeah, I met all of us were at different jamming parties and picking parties and circles and doing different little gigs together and dive bars and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah. How did you meet Jeff Austin?
How did that transpire? When did you guys first meet?
Well, I was buddies with some of the guys that were playing in his band.
Cool.
And in 2016.
Yes.
And so when the banjo spot became open, that he needed a banjo player, I think Vince and Drew from Salmon both had mentioned me to Jeff.
Good.
Cool.
And
so I think that's how Jeff actually got my number was from those guys.
Interesting.
Cool. But I had been sort of recommended, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
And I knew that there might become an opening there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What happened?
And I had been a fan since I mean, that's another thing. When I was getting turned on to bluegrass in the early days, Yonder was also a big part of that.
Yeah, same.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And a big part of giving me a spot that felt like I could fit in. You're right, because I'm like growing up in North Georgia, looking around. I'm just like, it's got at that time the Del McCurry band, Ricky Skaggs, was on fire. I mean, you could still go see Earl Scruggs play the banjo every now and then, and Ralph Stanley back then. We're still, they were old guys, but they were on the circuit, and I'm like going to those things. I'm like a tie-dyed dreadhead, metalhead, a hippie kid. I'm like, where do I fit in? And then I saw the Yonder Mountain String Band, and it was like, oh. Look at these hippies doing this thing,
exactly.
and doing it their own way, but paying tribute to the right thing, being respect. It's like they weren't just they were playing Flat and Scruggs songs, and they're playing John Hartford songs, and they're telling you who those people are. To commit. What's the word I'm looking for? Getting the information to their crowd of where this music comes from, and go.
Word.
Don't just think you love our band. Go check out this band. That is the music we're playing.
So bluegrass, paying respects to all much roots.
Right. Yeah. And also with that feeling of like, it's new stuff's okay too. We can do something wild and different, and that's going to be okay too. It's all sort of okay. So Yonder had influenced me in that way, in a big way, So then, of course, getting to play with Jeff was just like, that was a whole nother, that was a very cool thing.
Yeah, yeah, he's special.
Yeah. Kyle Tuttle and I are gonna get this next one started off here, friends. That's Kyle Tuttle on the banjo, everybody.
Hey, this is Kyle Tuttle, and you're listening to Smokin' Jamgrass.
Hear the preachers and the teachers, every word is burning down. Daddy said he didn't want to see my face around. Police pulled me over, further sent to town. Boys and the diggers do attended by the pound. I'm on a death tip, baby. I'm on a death trip, baby. Oh, shit, I'm on a death tip, baby. I'm on a death tip. troubled mind. I love her in the morning, and I kiss her all the time. I come home from work, and I can see my baby, my one true love. I can see my baby shine. I can see her shine. I can see her shine. Boss man tried to keep me working overtime. Boss man tried to keep me working overtime. Keep me trying to keep me coming, trying to keep me coming, trying to keep me coming, never gonna let it. Then he gonna try to keep me working, keep me working, all the time. I said, look, and the sun shines on our faces all the time, and the sun shines on her faces all the time. And if a car won't get going, she can't get it moving. She can come on over, she can come back it up right in mine. Baby working overtime, sun shines on our faces all the time, and if a car won't go, singing right in mine. Lord, I'm on a dip, baby. I'm on a dip, baby. Dip, baby. I'm on a dip, baby. Lord, I'm on a dip, baby. I'm on a dip, baby. Oh, dip, baby. I'm on a little dash. Thank you.
You're listening to Smokin' Jamgrass here on KMUZ. We just heard the Bad Livers cover Death Trip with Jeff Austin Band live at the Nectar Lounge up in Seattle, October 27th in 2018.
Before that, Red-Haired Boy, that was the Jeff Austin Band as well, and that was recorded at the Bill Monroe Music Park at the John Hartford Festival on June 3rd in 2017. Kyle Tuttle on the banjo there. Before Kyle was in the band, Danny Barnes was playing some banjo for the Jeff Austin Band.
Wow, two great banjo players in that band.
Yeah, we love us some Danny Barnes, and we also love Kyle Tuttle, who we caught up with for an interview here. Did you ever play with Danny Barnes?
You know, I don't think I've ever played music with Danny Barnes. I guess I haven't. You know, I mean, we're like socially friends or whatever. I just both on. I don't really mean social media, but like I know him. So if I ran into him on the sidewalk, we can have a conversation and stuff. And I'm like such a big fan of his. But we have never picked together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yet.
Right. Exactly.
He's doing a lot of comics these days.
Yeah, exactly. I just bought his comic book. I've got a stack of
we
his.
did too.
I said, could you sign it for us? And he sure did.
That's awesome. Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, we had him on the show like last year.
Cool.
You know who else we had? Our first interview for our show was Lindsay Lou.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Our first interview
She was
was
our
Lou.
first, back in
Cool.
episode 7, it was Lindsay Lou.
Okay. That's
she
amazing.
was fantastic.
She was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's just the best.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hell
So
yeah.
happy
Big
for
heart.
her new album.
That's awesome.
Just happy. Yeah, man. The whole scene. So y'all, the whole Golden Highway, everyone's in Nashville now.
Boston,
now Nashville.
Shelby actually is in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, cool. Oh, nice.
But
Nice.
the rest of us are in Nashville. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't recognize her without her big bass. That's so funny.
Yeah. And I mean, what a powerhouse group, Golden Highway.
Oh, wow.
And the women are so powerful.
Yes.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
I'm just trying to get out of their way.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's it like to be, in the minority in a male-dominated, industry male.
Oh, man, it's
chauvinistic country.
It's about time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's
powerful.
about time, and it's I love it. I mean, man, they musically, there's no question that anybody holds their own, obviously. But then they can they make us look good. They can tell me what to wear. They can tell me to steam my shirt, change my shirt, change my pants. And they're right, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, man. They got
the energy.
such flair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And like I said, last time we met you was at String Summit, the last one.
Yes.
And you were MVP of the summit.
Yeah. 13 shows, 13 stages.
Maximum number of sit-ins or something.
Dude,
that was a
unbelievable.
blast. That was, that was my first one, so I had to make up for lost time.
Yeah,
she
you
was
sure
the
did.
last.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was like 10 summits in one there, man. I'll tell you what. Jeez Louise. I don't know how you did it, man.
Yeah. When was the last time you were here in Portland? Was it at the
Mississippi.
Mississippi studio?
Yeah.
or something?
Is
Yeah.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't really call String Summit Portland.
Yeah.
So, if you're not counting that, then
Right.
because that was more
22.
that was more recent than
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
we
that's
did
right.
we did with this band we did that Mississippi Studios show in like the early part of 22, then we did String Summit in the later part of 22.
Right.
And now here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
So-
so psyched to see you guys. It was like that was our first show, I think, that we went to coming out of
The
quarantine
pandemic, right?
and everything. Yeah, we're like we can't
Mississippi
miss,
Studios?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
we couldn't
cool.
miss you, man. We're
Hell
like,
yeah.
put the mask on and we're going.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
hell, thank
It
y'all
was-
for
it
coming
was
out.
fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Of course.
Oh man, so who does the choreography? Do you guys have like a dance? Like you guys bring in like the big timers from like MC
We do.
Hammer or what?
We-
It is so badass.
It's a little bit of a group effort,
Yeah.
It's actually all pretty organic, man. I mean,
Really?
there's
It's just
all
free-flowing?
of that stuff is. I mean, there's a couple of moves that happen,
the go-tos.
but that's all. That all happened organically.
Cool.
I mean, it really
Yeah,
did. And then it's
yeah.
just a matter of one of those things where like you get off stage and everyone's kind of like, oh, well, that was cool. Maybe
That
we should try that again.
Totally.
Yeah, thankfully we haven't actually had to have like a choreography meeting.
Man, it
yet.
looks
know?
it looks professional. I mean, it is
Yeah,
tight.
the energy's great.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's off the hook. Yeah.
Well, it's organic. That's the reason it comes off that way is because it just actually is that way.
It feels
So.
good. It's
right.
fun.
Yeah. How was the writing process with you, with Molly, and the band? Like, yeah, how does that go down?
Well, Molly, a lot of the writing is Molly and Ketch. She writes a lot with Ketch Secor from Old Crow Medicine Show,
Yes.
and then the arranging stuff is really all the band.
Cool.
So
you all have input and
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of just like what's going to make the song work on stage.
Yeah.
And we all sort of. That's a openly creative process for us, and the ideas are. It's cool. It's cool because everybody's got good ideas. So fortunately, we're all able to let that stuff ebb and flow a little
That's
bit.
great. That's hard.
Yeah.
All these
and Molly's
egos
an excellent
incredibly
band leader
talented.
in that way that she
Nice.
lets that stuff flow.
And then getting in the studio with somebody with the experience of Jerry Douglas, Flux. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's that like?
Totally awesome, man. I mean, the same kind of deal. It's like it's like the material is there, but it can be shaped in many ways, right? And so like someone like Jerry, it's just like sort of like sees what we do and like takes our strengths uses our strengths to help shape the thing into the best version of itself. You know? And I think that's really the best when any producer is doing their best work. It's not like telling someone what to play.
Right.
It's like listening to what someone does and figuring out how to support that. Yes. So how to support the player, how to support each player individually in a way that's going to lead to them supporting the work in the best way. Yeah. Right. And someone with like Jerry's taste and touch in that scenario is just like above and beyond.
It's like improv. Everybody sort of supports each other and creates a bigger.
Yeah, and when you're fleshing out the music like that in the studio, there is a lot of improv. There's a lot of just like running over things and doing them newly and differently a bunch of times until finally you're sort of someone's like, oh, okay. Yeah. That it's like similar to the choreography thing almost. It's like after enough times you're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. That part of that time and that part of that time would come together and create the perfect version of this. You know,
ding, ding.
So many takes over and over.
Are you working on some solo stuff?
Yeah, I have an album that's going to come out next year, first part of next year.
Really?
Actually,
Sweet.
yeah.
Cool.
Who's on that one?
Oh, there's a lot of people on it.
Great.
There's let's see, Julian Pinelli, Cody Kilby, Dominick Leslie, Lindsay Lou's on there, Travis Book is on there. Who else is on there? Jeff Saunders is on there. Jim Kittleman is on there playing drums.
Cool. Oh, nice.
There's I'm sure I'm leaving somebody else out here.
That's a lot. You got it in the can?
Yeah, it's all in the can. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, Megan McCormick plays bass on one track. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm excited about that, actually. It's got some different stuff.
So it's a self-titled album?
I should go.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize how low I'm on.
No,
okay.
it's totally chill. It's totally chill.
Oop, time's up.
Maybe that's the name of the new album.
That would be kind of amazing. Kyle had to get back into the venue because they were about to play a sold-out show at the Aladdin.
Yeah, the show must go on. We were kind of cutting it close there on the interview.
Yeah, so whatever time he gave to us to share with you, we're so grateful. So thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, hopefully have him back on the show again. He's a great guy and a wicked banjo player.
Yes, and we were also lucky enough to talk to another member of Golden Highway, Bronwyn Keith-Hynes.
Woo!
Prodigy fiddle player. We're going to hear from her in just a moment. First, we're going to play a song that sort of segues the whole Kyle Tuttle, Bronwyn Keith-Hynes, Golden Highway thing. This song is on Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway's latest album, City of Gold. It's called Alice in the Bluegrass. I chose this song because it's got a great story to it based on Alice in Wonderland. Also because of the way it's produced. It highlights Kyle Tuttle on the banjo as well as Bronwyn Keith-Hynes on the fiddle. So I thought it would be a kind of a nice way to transition. And then after that, the interview with Bronwyn Keith-Hynes and her new single right here on Smokin' Jamgrass on KMUZ.
Come gather round, folks, and a story I'll tell about a girl who tripped through the bottom on the well. Woke up in a dream with a curious habit, chasing a little white rabbit. Well, she landed with a thud by the field mouse door, said this don't look like Kentucky anymore. Knocked 3 times and her mind swung open. Alice had woken. So she danced all night with a bottle in her hand, lost in a backwoods wonderland. Toadstool fiddle and a cigarette bowl. Where'd you come from, Alice? Why'd you go? Then the old snapper turtle peeked out of his shell, said, little girl, you don't look too well. Take a little swig and a little bitty swallow. You'll feel 3 times smaller. Then the glowworm sitting on a caterpillar tractor gave her smoke, some strange tobacco. The doodlebug said, girl, you can't go back there. You'll be ours forever after. So she danced all night with a bottle in her hand. cigarette bowl. Where'd you come from, Alice? Why'd you go? Little piece of cornbread, swallow it down till you're 10 feet high up above the ground. All the king's horses, mules, and men can't bring little Alice back down again. Through the well grew a jack-fine ladder. She climbed like the devil when the devil came after. He was fast, but she was faster. Now she's sitting on the porch with the mom and pa, trying to make sense of the things she saw. Can't wait to wander back to Wonderland, go tripping through the bluegrass once again. Dance all night with a bottle in her hand, lost in a backwoods wonderland. Toadstool fiddle and a cigarette bowl. Where'd you come from, Alice? Why'd you go? Alice in the bluegrass. Little Alice in the bluegrass. Alice in the bluegrass.
It's Smokin' Jamgrass here on KMUZ. We just heard Molly Tuttle on the Golden Highway playing Alice in the Bluegrass off her latest album, City of Gold. It was produced by Molly Tuttle and Flux, Jerry Douglas. Now coming up, boy, we got a special treat for y'all. We got an interview with the Golden Highway member, fiddler extraordinaire, Bronwyn Keith-Hynes. Hi, Bronwyn.
Hi, Brian. How's it going?
Good. We're stoked to have you on the show. Thank you. Yay.
Oh, likewise. I know I've seen you guys on Instagram for ages. I appreciate you reaching out.
Yay.
Oh, that's nice. So how are you doing? You're back at home, right?
Yeah, home for another week and a half or so and just kind of trying to catch up on everything.
Yeah. So you just wrapped up your fall tour with Golden Highway and Molly Tuttle, and now you're back in Nashville. You played a sold-out show in Portland at the Aladdin Theater. How did all that touring go?
Oh, it was awesome. My parents were at that Aladdin Theater show. They came up. They're living down in San Diego, but they came up for that show, and that was actually their first time getting to see the band, and I was so excited about that because I felt like that was just like a really epic show.
Yay.
But yeah, the whole tour was great. Like pretty much every show was sold out, and it was just like great crowds. I love playing on the West Coast and in Colorado. You know, it's just beautiful scenery, good food, good people.
We love it too. Come anytime.
Yeah.
You live in Nashville now, but you're actually from Virginia. Is that right?
I am. Yeah, I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I went to school up in Boston at Berkeley, and that's actually where I met most of the Golden Highway folks. 4 out of 5 of us were in school together at the same time.
I think I read somewhere that you started playing the fiddle at the age of 3?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
How does a 3-year-old play the fiddle?
That's crazy.
Not well. Apparently, I don't even remember that, but apparently I saw some girls busking on the street when I was 3, and I told my dad I wanted violin lessons, and they just kind of went with it,
And so you started out kind of in a more Celtic feel, and then you morphed into bluegrass. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. And I feel like it's all just kind of random sometimes what kids get exposed to. I was exposed to Celtic fiddling because that's what the first
fiddle teacher I had did, you know, and like, I got into that. And I also have a lot of Irish family. All my dad's side is from Ireland. So we would go there anyways for, you know, family trips and stuff. So I kind of got exposed to that music pretty early on. And then I got exposed to bluegrass kind of more as a teenager. I would go to these fiddle camps where they would teach a lot of different genres. And I started finding myself gravitating towards bluegrass for like the improvisation and the bluesy element of it. It just kind of, I liked the attitude, and I felt like I wanted to like express that myself.
It's so intertwined too, you know, the Irish stuff, you know, as you know, it really kind of started out, you know, it helped fuel the whole bluegrass scene here, all the Irish immigrants. So that's a nice basis to start off with, you know.
Totally. It's all connected.
Yes.
Then when you went to Berkeley, it was on a scholarship. You were only 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. That's when I got accepted. And, yeah, I kind of just went young. I think my parents were slightly taken aback that I wanted to go that early, but, you know, I don't know. I think they were just always been really supportive. And I had a lot of friends that were kind of going around that time who were a few years older than me, and I wanted to keep up, you know?
Yeah, that's great. Such a, you know, open mind, young mind to learn so much and work so hard to get where you are now. It's amazing. You're just fantastic, yes.
Yeah, we totally enjoy seeing you just rip it on that fiddle on stage. The energy is amazing, and we're just so impressed. And so you said, so you were at Berkeley, you said you hooked up with most of the band there. Was Molly a part of that scene too?
She was, yeah. Molly, Kyle, and Dom were all students at the same time as me. And so we were all, you know, we'd end up at parties together, jamming and stuff. And, you know, and we all kind of did our own thing after that, you know, but we would know each other and all ended up in Nashville eventually. And, you know, I think when Molly was putting together this band, she was just kind of thinking about who would be, you know, as well as good musically, maybe like fun to be on tour with and might, you know, all get along.
Yeah, it's tough when you're all crammed in that van together, doing thousands of miles. Oh my gosh, you guys had such a crazy tour this last time on the West Coast. It's a long ways to go.
That was.
Yeah.
Some long drives, but, you know, everyone gets along good, so.
That's great.
Who drove?
We've got a tour manager, thankfully.
Oh, good.
Who's a great driver.
Oh, great, good. That way you can relax and just watch the landscape go by.
Yeah, totally.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good.
We saw you guys, by the way. It was just coming out of the pandemic, and I think you were the first band we saw as the lockdown was sort of being lifted. Yeah. And we came with our masks on in Portland, and I think that was sold out as well at Mississippi Studios.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? That would have been our, like, second or third show.
Wow.
That was like one of the very first shows we ever played, so we were really fresh.
Nice.
You know?
Well, how does it...
And I remember it was weird being on tour at, you know, when the pandemic was kind of still going on. We were all really scared about COVID and like, you know, not wanting to get it, not wanting to spread it, you know, it was just a weird time, but...
It was. How would you compare like that first tour to this one?
I don't know. It's all kind of getting bigger and better, you know.
Yeah.
We're playing, you know, I think that tour was really exciting because it was the first tour we've ever done. So, you know, there was something really exciting about that. But this one, you know, we're kind of more gelled as a group now and know each other and know the music so much better. So I feel like, you know, we're definitely able to put on a better show now.
Yeah, definitely more exposure and new material too with the second album. And
Yeah, you've played with so many greats. I mean, Molly Tuttle, of course, Jerry Douglas, Tony Trischka, Peter Rowan, Tim O'Brien.
Wow.
Just so many people. And you've won a lot of awards, too. Like your band called Mile 12, you guys won the IBMA New Artist of the Year Award in 2020, back when things were kind of crazy. I guess that was a crazy time to get that award, too.
Yeah, we watched ourselves win it, you know, on Zoom.
Yeah, right.
It was really weird.
So
that was a really cool thing. That was the band that I started right after college, and I was part of that band for 7 years, and it was my first like national touring band that I was a part of.
Cool.
So it was like a learning experience and growth opportunity there, and you know, it felt like, you know, a cool thing to win that award.
Yeah, and you're no stranger to awards. How many times have you won the IBMA Fiddle Player of the Year award? Or is it Fiddler of the Year?
Oh, twice.
Nice.
Blows my mind. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it seems like, in such a male-dominated industry, the fact that you've gotten that, and then Molly was the first female guitarist of the year, I think, IBMA.
Yes.
I mean, what's it like being such a powerhouse, dominantly female group in this industry?
It's really nice, and I actually love that it's like a mixed gender group, because it feels like, to me, that maybe gender isn't so much of a thing because it's a mixed gender group. It's just like, she picked some, just like all the people that she wanted to be in a band with, versus sometimes if a group is all one gender or the other, it can feel a little contrived, or maybe that's, you don't want to be feeling like you're getting picked because of gender.
Right.
But I would say also it's really nice to be on the road with women as well as men. It's just a different dynamic. And I would think that, men have this level of comfort in these bluegrass situations where there's mostly men, and that's something I've never experienced until, being in bands with multiple genders, and then you just feel different.
So you also have a new album coming out in the spring. You have an album that your first album is called Fiddler's Pastime, and that came out in 2020. And now you're coming up with a new album that's coming out in the spring, and you've got a new single. So before we play the single, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is the first thing I've ever put out where I've sung before. That's kind of a new thing for me, which I'm just so excited about. My previous record was an instrumental record, and I had some guest singers, and that was really cool. That was kind of then, but singing has just kind of been something I've been working on in the last couple of years, and so that's really special to me. This song was written by Jamie Hartford, who is John Hartford's son.
Oh.
He's an incredible songwriter, but kind of maybe some people wouldn't know him as much, but I hope they do.
They will now.
He's such a talent. He's incredible.
Oh, great.
So.
That's cool. And then also this song, Can't Live Without Love, you've got some guests on that as well that recorded with you?
I do. Yeah. Well, Molly Tuttle and Sam Bush sang harmonies with me, which is sort of a dream, it's kind of ridiculous dream team. Molly was kind of an obvious choice. And I was on a recording session with Sam earlier this summer, and he gave me his new album, which is this John Hartford tribute album called Radio Dawn, and I've been kind of listening to that on repeat in my car, and just sort of had his voice in mind with, just kind of was associating his voice with Hartford music for a while, and I don't know, it just kind of felt like the right ask.
Yeah. Oh, he's just a legend. I mean, Sammy's the best. That's oh, man.
Yeah.
So let's take a listen. It's Bronwyn Keith-Hynes' new single, Can't Live Without Love, on Smoke and Jamgrass, KMUZ.
Coming home late from some faraway place, I drive all night long just to get in his space. When I leave at daylight, it's gonna be rough, but I can live without sleep. I can't live without love. Pride is fine and needed at times, but not
Smokin' Jamgrass on KMUZ. Can't live without love.
Yeah, bud.
Bronwyn Keith-Hynes, her latest single, released not long ago. We look forward to spring. Already looking forward to spring, when the entire album will be released on her very own label, which, by the way, was named after her childhood companion and practice buddy, her little kitty, Sugar Petunia.
Yeah.
Yay, Sugar.
Oh, we love the kitties.
We love this song. We think your voice sounds really, really awesome, and surprised that you haven't sung before.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, yeah, you sound great. You do harmonies with the Golden Highway, right?
I don't really.
Oh,
no.
okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a newer thing for me. I don't know. I feel like I've maybe only recently developed the confidence to want to do that.
Great.
That's great.
Do you have the album already in the can? Are you working on it right now?
Yeah.
Or
it's pretty much in the can, but I'm still kind of working on a few pieces, but I'm hoping the whole album will be out in the spring of 2024. So.
Exciting. That's great.
Is there a name for the album yet?
I'm still thinking about a few options.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got time. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, Bronwyn, thank you again so much. I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, enjoy your downtime before you hit the big old road again. Yeah.
Thanks. Hope to be back in Portland sometime soon.
Yeah,
we
love you. West Coast loves you. So.
We sure do.
Keep sawing those logs. You sound fantastic.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yay.
Bronwyn Keith-Hynes.
Wow. She's awesome.
I can't wait to see her career progress.
No doubt. She's a shining star blazing across the Nashville Trail there.
Well, it was a real golden ray of sunshine to step into the spotlight today with Kyle Tuttle and Bronwyn Keith-Hynes. Thanks to both of you for being on the show and sharing your stories and your music with us, making the world a better place.
Yeah, no doubt. Hopefully down the road we can get a chance to catch up with the other three as well, but they're just fantastic. What a great band. And
yay.
Yeah, they're really cool people.
Yes, they are. And you know who else is cool?
Who dat?
KMUZ.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks to KMUZ Community Radio for having us on the air. We are located in the Willamette Valley of beautiful Oregon, and KMUZ is streamed worldwide at kmuz.org.
So many great shows on KMUZ. We could really use a donation to help keep it going.
That's right. And so if you can, please go to kmuz.org and contribute what you can. You can hear new episodes of this show, Smokin' Jamgrass, every first Sunday of the month right here on KMUZ Community Radio, where there is a lot of great programming and in a grassroots kind of way.
Yeah.
So speaking of grass,
yeah.
Thank you for listening to Smokin' Jamgrass. Until next time, everybody, much love.
You and I headed straight into the west. Sun is rising behind, we're headed straight into the darkness. And it's been so long since I've seen you, but I'm forced to stare at these lines while you're tossing, turning.